Why some of you will never become homeowners. I'm a realtor, and while I understand that this sub has a special hate for us, I'd like to provide some insight to those of you that have tried to buy a home and haven't been able to do so. I'd like to go over two different scenarios. Clients that I've worked with that unfortunately just couldn't get their offer accepted anywhere. Clients that did get their offer accepted, and ended up backing out. There's something very interesting that I see consistently with these type of clients. I'd like to share them with you. For those of you that couldn't get your offer accepted, here's what I consistently see from my point of view as a realtor. 1. You were educated on the current market conditions, but you have your own view of how the market should be. You don't take your realtor's advice. You believe you're entitled to a house of your liking, in the location you desire, without the budget for it. 2. You don't believe in offering over ask, even when provided evidence that home is priced under market. 3. You wear yourself out in the beginning of your home search writing low-ball offers and asking for too much concessions on homes that are hot. By the time you understand what the reality of the market is, you're already exhausted and ready to throw in the towel. Goes hand in hand with point 1. 4. It's a numbers game, and the more reasonable offers you write, the likelier it is you'll catch something. If you're looking at 2-3 homes a week, you need to crank those numbers up 10x. For those of you that got a home under contract, and then got cold feet, here's what I see consistently with those buyers. 1. Unreasonable expectations of how things should be in regards to concessions. 2. Doomsday Adams buyers who go under contract and watch a few YouTube videos or take advice from their friend Steve who's been renting all his life that it's definitely not a good time. You should definitely wait until after the crash and then buy. Cold feet. 3. Emotional buyers. Not every transaction is going to be smooth, and some people don't have the mental fortitude to handle a purchase. Sometimes there are delays, or in general shit happens. The slightest speed bump sets these people off, and it's very difficult to get their mental back on track. This has been my experience, and I thought I'd share it with you all. If you're looking at 2-3 homes a week, you need to crank those numbers up 10x. Yeah bro, just look at 30 houses per week. Lol, my market hasn't even listed 30 houses in a quarter. I thought it was avocado toast. I'm a tax accountant and I have a client who bought his home for $100K and sold last year for $1M. I think that's a big issue why people aren't gonna be homeowners. This is correct but also unhelpful. Outbid other people and don't back out will obviously help you purchase just about anything. It's also the same advice that will cause people to overextend themselves and maybe buy a lemon. Market has a higher price to income ratio than the '08 bubble. Your answer: offer more. We are tapped out bro. As the realtor, you should help set their expectations up front. Almost everything depends on initial expectations emo. Until agents are paid by the hour with a very small commission for closing. The two will never align in interest, and as long as the interests don't align, it's hard to trust the words of an agent. Oh, a salesperson telling me to lower my expectations and just settle for whatever I get to speed things up. While I agree some people's expectations are unrealistic or they get too emotional, it's frankly justified when buying the most expensive thing in their life. They can take as much time and have as many opinions as they want. So what's your take on the homeowners that waived inspections at the advice of their realtor and are now finding issues that would have been caught during an inspection? I almost didn't get a house because the realtor I had didn't listen to me. Fired her ass and put in an offer through a realtor I had never spoken to before that went to bat for me. Got that house under asking with all the concessions and just waiting on the inspection where I can back out if I damned well please. I think maybe people won't own a home because net affordability is dive bombing. Not necessarily because of your little interactions as a home shower. I'm sure hitting an all-time record of unaffordability between high prices, high rates, low quality, selection, and location and being the highest cost-to-income ratio in U.S. history all has nothing to do with it, though, or the fact that it got here in a 2-year period. Nah, you right. It's their mindset. Here's to the market increasingly favoring buyers over sellers' beer mugs. I'm a realtor, yeah, we could tell. I'm just glad I bought my house before I found this sub. For you, it's a paycheck. For a buyer, it's probably the biggest investment of their life. Going over ask on a home because the market is hot is a good way to be underwater when the market even outs. This is all good advice. If you're looking to please your realtor, follow the tips above from a realtor. If you're not in this game to please your realtor, generally ignore this advice. This is a dollars and cents game. You will figure out the right price as you move along. I have a feeling a lot of these realtors will be back to bartending again. Oh God. It honestly seems like a lot of reagents are so out of touch. How about, statistically many people won't own a home because on average, wages have not scaled with home prices. They have to keep lowering the down payments and extending the terms of mortgages just to increase the pool of eligible buyers. Crank those numbers up. Lol no. I look at one home a week tops. Spouse works nights. I work days. One a week is already pushing it, and sometimes there's weeks we don't talk with our realtor whatsoever. Your advice doesn't fit all situations. While casting a wider net will obviously speed up the process, these mentally weak people you speak of won't be able to handle looking at 20 houses a week. Plus, if I did that currently, I'd have seen every house for sale in a 20-mile radius. Inventory is dogshit and you can't convince anyone otherwise. It can be helpful to have a realtor who can educate their clients on a particular market. That being said, I think when you want to make a lowball offer and a realtor scoffs at the idea, they're an asshole. 2. I read this headline and thought there was going to be some insight about how the market is just rocketing upwards and forcing average, middle-class people out, taking away any ability for them to ever earn enough for a decent purchase. OP's comments are also helpful, I guess. 2 things here. Even in a correction, it takes years for a major price changes to happen. Not months. Certainly not weeks. Lots of people think this is like the stock market or crypto, where corrections happen in days or hours. Sometimes that friend Steve knows more about macro-econ than realtors. I still get gifts from friends I talked out of buying in 2007. Oh hey, we should offer millions over the asking price because it's a numbers game. Seriously? Well, this is why no one likes realtors. Hard to listen to a realtor when their income relies solely on the sale. 3 happened to me. My seller was buying another house and didn't do anything she needed to as she was going to MVOE out of the house I was buying the same day she closed on mine. I wanted to back out so bad, and for someone who isn't emotion, it tore me up that she was manipulating the system. My realtor, who I luckily knew most of my life, told me to swallow the pill and get over it, and we moved on. Has'd my house for almost 4 years now, and that event really didn't change anything except I had to do a little more cleaning on the garage.